to another episode of the Players Place podcast. Today we have Celtic FC player Kit Loferski joining us today. Kit, thank you for joining us in your busy schedule.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So before we start, how's everything? How's Scotland?
It's good. It's really good. The sun's been coming out a little bit more day by day. She's actually been consistently out actually, but today it's a bit fast. But football's great, the team's great. Girls are super talented. And so far I've had like a really great experience. We're kind of in the middle of, we're in the middle of like peak season, just coming down to the end of it. So lots of big games, lots of pressure to perform and that sort of thing. But I mean, diamonds are made under pressure, so might as well run with it. So yeah, but it's been good so far.
Of course, of course. Do you have any like close friends on the
Close
team?
friends on the team. Um,
Yeah.
close friends, not so much, not yet, not yet. Just because it's we're in it type of thing. But I mean, I feel like I get along with just about everybody on the team, anyways. Still haven't made the transition into teammates into friendship off the pitch, that sort of thing. But you know, with time, and
Of
with
course. Yeah.
extra time outside of things and that sort of thing. So, but it's super busy right now,
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. My roommates are super cool. So, I mean, if anything, I would consider them the people that are closest to me at the moment.
How many roommates do you have?
Actually,
One, two?
it's me and four other girls. So Hannah and Taylor, who are American. Hannah's from New Jersey. Taylor is from North Carolina, and then there's Shen and Lu, who are from China. Yeah, so it's a nice little
Did
mix.
did Hannah and Taylor play
Yeah,
college
they did.
soccer?
So Hannah played at Virginia, and Taylor played at North Carolina. hmm
Okay. Okay, that's yeah. All right. So to kick things off here, we're gonna start with the beginning of time, the beginning, the beginning of
The
Kit's
beginning of it
amazing
all.
journey. So let's just start where you grew up, where you grew up, and then club
Yeah,
soccer, and then transition into
yeah, for
college
sure.
soccer.
Well, I was born in Louisville, Kentucky. Lived 5 years of my life, and then my dad's job moved us down to Florida. So I'd been in St. Augustine from the time of five to, I mean, I guess now, but come and go. Um, but yeah, I started playing soccer probably like between the ages of 5 and 7. I don't know. It was a really long time ago. But it was just something that kind of stuck. I'd always been involved in sports. My parents were big and like, oh, like it's a good thing for kids to get, involved in sports and be active and like interact with people and that sort of thing. And team sports comes with that, even singular sports. But I dabbled in sports like swimming. I played volleyball, um, basketball. I ran track. Like did all of that and kind of like tried to figure out what it was that I liked. And there was something about soccer that really stuck. I really liked the fact that I got to make friends. I got to hang out with some cool people, and I got to do something that I really love to do. And yeah, that was that. Um, and let's see, from their club. So at the beginning, like it was obviously like, oh, like find my niche, that kind of thing, like just trying things out. And then things got progressively more and more serious, just with like, like I guess how I was developing as a player and like what I could potentially do with this and that sort of thing. That was mainly coming from other people, and then, but like more so for me, like I just really enjoyed the sport. I loved soccer. Um, but I kind of took a step back and was like, oh, like maybe this is something that like I actually want to pursue and like that sort of thing. Like I love it, and I mean I'm pretty good at it, so like might as well try it out. So with club, I was originally with a team called Jacksonville Fury, and then I made the jump to Ponte Vedra Storm, which is now JFC, and then from JFC, like that was where I really kind of was like, okay, like I think college is gonna be college ball is gonna be a choice for me. So through JFC, I got in touch with and from there on, it was just the rest is history, I guess. But I had so college, moving into college, I played 6 years at the University of Florida because of some injuries, so I got some extra redshirt years.
let me
Sorry, what?
let me stop you real
Uh-huh.
quick. I'm gonna stop you
Yeah.
real quick. Did you feel like your club teams like gave you the proper
The
exposure
proper, oh yeah,
for
for sure,
college?
for sure. I think like we were pretty decent within the state. We won. I from what I can recall, we definitely won states at least once, that type of thing. So it was a very it was a competitive club. Developed me in ways that like as a player that needed me to get to where like I wanted to go. And then everything else just kind of like happened, I guess, with recruiting and that sort of thing. Back then, there were certain rules and guidelines that you had to follow, but like coaches would reach out to my club coach about teams or about players on my team that schools were interested in, and then from there the line of communication just kind of like trickled down just because of rules and guidelines and that sort of thing. So but yeah, for me personally, like I did get that exposure. And it really worked out. I mean, I spent 6 years at Florida, so clearly I didn't really want to leave. But yeah. No, wait, you're frozen.
Did did you have your signing day at home or at school?
Um, at school, I did it with two other soccer players. A guy named Chris and Chris DeGance and a girl named Grayson Sheets. Um, and yeah, that was pretty cool, I guess, being able to sign in front of my closest friends and family, and them being present for that, and my teammates were there, and it was a really cool experience. Yeah, God, that was so
Yeah.
long ago. Oh my goodness. I haven't thought I don't know,
I'm
something
surprised
about that. I was
you.
like, I haven't really thought about that in a really long time. I haven't like really like sat back and reflected on that. But yeah, it's a real
Yeah.
experience for sure.
And then now, obviously, you were at UF for some time. So, what led you into picking UF?
What led me into picking UF? So, I was, between different schools, and I was pretty dead set on going to one school. And then, my mom sat me down, and she's a Gator, so maybe a little bit biased, but she was like, I think you should really like look into Florida just to see what's going on. And I was like, no, like I want to go here. I want to go here. Like my best friend was going there. I was like super excited. Like the football was great, like that sort of thing. And I was just like, no, this is where I want to go. And she's like, okay, well, like, let's just try it out. And so I was like, oh, fine. So I went to an ID camp at Florida and literally committed 2 days after the ID camp. There was something about Florida that just kind of like clicked for me. The football was great. I loved the staff. Um, it had everything that the other schools that I had in terms of decision making. But there was just like an extra spark of, I felt like I was at the right place, like I was at home in a way. Um, so yeah, and then on top of that, like with Florida, it's a great academic school, student athlete, so and I take that, pretty seriously just because, football's gonna end at some point. So I'd like to set myself up for the best opportunity for myself as I can. That's not to say that I mean you're gonna get out whatever you put into it, but I guess the credentials that Florida had was just something that was like an extra box that was ticked. So yeah. Great.
Oh, all right. So, what advice would you give, someone going through the college process right now?
The college process. Um,
Yeah, like the recruitment process.
I would say, try to figure out what it is that you're there for. Like, what are you invested in, type of thing. And also to remember that eventually, whether you go pro or don't go pro or whatever, like the things that, are being taught within a team sport environment is always going to be so much bigger than the sport itself. And to really take into accountability that, like, you're a person before you are a player, and you want to be the best person that you could be just for longevity wise. And for me personally, like the program that I was in and the environment that Becky cultivated, is always person over player. How can we be the best, whether teammate, student, daughter, friend, whatever it is that it was, like it was always something, it was always about the person. So I guess my advice would be to just be like, yeah, like soccer's going to be important, absolutely, but take a step back and really kind of like self-reflect and like be like, okay, am I being the best person that I can put forward as well, type of thing. So yeah. And also use your resources for academics. Use your resources because there are plenty of them. And let me tell you, I did not take nearly enough advantage of doing so. I stressed myself out to no end, and there are always people there to help. So use advantage of the resources and the people that are there willing to help you. It is okay to ask for help. So ask for it, especially when you really need it. So yeah.
Did you not use the tutors that we were getting?
I mean, I did. I did for sure. But I also did a lot of compensation for when I didn't use those and like when I probably should have because, I was probably just being lazy then. Um, and stress myself out. And, I made it all the way through. I got my bachelor's and I got my master's. So, I did the thing, but I could have made it a lot easier on myself. That is for sure.
That's surprising. I know because that's true as well. A lot of people don't use the resources that are given because there's so many.
Mm-hmm.
There's so
Mm-hmm.
many. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I know you were at UF for some time,
Yes.
and you had some injuries in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wanted you to go in depth with those injuries, like what injuries were they? What happened? How long were you out for,
Yeah, for sure.
etc.
Well, my injuries were season-ending injuries, unfortunately. So my sophomore year, I tore my meniscus during preseason. And then the way that worked out, like we kind of rehabbed it and got it strong again, and I could kind of play here and there. And then we were playing. Then it got into regular season play, and there was something like it just I re-injured myself during the run of play. During I think it was me. I think we were playing like Ole Miss or something like that. But during the run of play, I re-injured myself, and I was like I couldn't stand up. And so that was the end of that season. And because of the way, because it happened in preseason and then I re injured the same thing, somehow that qualified. I was like, okay, you guys know the logistics better than I do. So that's all you guys. So I was out for that season. That was 2017. And then the following year, 2018, during preseason, I tore my ACL in my other knee. So back-to-back seasons, which was obviously pretty disappointing just because it was like I want to play. I want to play with my buddies. I want to kick the ball around. Like I just want to play football and I can't even do that. Like what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. Like it's one of those things where it was like super upsetting in the moment, and like as I said it earlier, you're gonna get out whatever you put into it, type of thing, and it that's for sure. It changed, like, I guess my priorities in a way. I got to see the other side of not being able to participate in something that I was really truly invested in, my team, the sport, like everything that goes into it. So it was there was like a an extra sense of appreciation towards the sport itself and towards the people around me that like I kind of, like it really made a change in me, and it was something that like without my teammates, without Becky Burley, without our physios, our athletic trainers, Connie Andrews, my girl. Gosh, she has seen me through my worst days. Um, but you know, like the people there like really just they really got me through it. They really did. And they kept me motivated in the sense of like I just want to play with you guys again. Like I want to be out there on the field with you guys doing the things that we love to do and kick the ball around and win some, lose some. Hey, you know what? At least we're gonna go through it together. So that's what I that was my key motivator, and you know what kind of pushed me through it. And you know, of course, there's always gonna be like the you know your own personal satisfaction of like you know like this is a crappy thing, it's a hard thing, but you know I could do it if I want to do it. So it's just like, you know, putting your mind to
Yeah.
something and you know, you get that little tick of self-satisfaction of like, damn, I did a hard thing and that's cool, but now I get to play with my friends. And that's really cool. It's so much cooler. So, yeah.
In terms of like coming back and then returning to play and all that, because obviously those are two big time injuries. So
Mm.
how long did you think it took you, kind of mentally, to get over that barrier when you came back, like when you were cleared?
No, for sure. Um, You know, honestly, even to this day, I'm still a little bit, you know, I there are times where I can find myself holding back, you know, and it's just because of like it not in the sense I don't like it's just self-preservation, I guess, in a way. You know, like I do a lot of compensation work in terms of injury and injury prevention and that sort of thing in the gym and like doing stuff on my own and you know, just making sure that I'm healthy, compensating, you know, like making sure I'm eating right, making sure I'm drinking the water, making sure I'm doing the right things and that sort of thing. You know, with grace and space, you know, I don't try to overdo it, obviously, but you know, like it is something that
Mhm.
is actively on my mind, because I mean, nobody likes to get hurt. I mean, you can learn a lot and get a change of perspective, but nobody really likes it. Nobody likes to be kept from the thing that they love to do. Um, so, yeah, I would say, you know, it kind of sticks with you. If you love, I guess if you love something enough, you're gonna sacrifice certain things in order to keep that thing in you, and that's that. But in terms of you know like real return to play and like getting back after it type of thing, it was pretty immediate. Like I was ready to go type of thing. Like they were telling me that I had to like kind of like slow down and ease up a little bit, and I was like no, I want to go. Like let me run. Let this horse off its reins, please. So yeah, that was kind of that's what I gotta say about the barriers. I think yeah.
Okay. Now, question of the day, the
Mm-hmm.
great question of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So, during your amazing match against Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
for those of you that
Mm-hmm.
don't know, it got sent off, and I want to know what exactly happened because obviously I only
It
seen a
really
small clip.
right, right. It really is
So I want to.
like I can look back on it now, even like a few days afterwards, like just like the ridiculousness of it all in terms of like me, like nothing else. It was just me, so I can look back on it now and laugh, but because it is really funny. But so that game, so that whole game. So the ref, Corey Rockwell, who's actually become quite, we you know like we keep in touch, we communicate every so often. Like he's still refing and doing his thing and like kind of making his way up into the refing world. And he's like a little supporter for me, like that type of thing. So we keep in contact still. But yeah, Corey. So during that match, you know, like he had missed some fouls, and I had been getting fouled pretty heavily like the entire game. Blatant fouls that weren't being called, and like people weren't getting warnings when they should have. Maybe like the amount of fouls that were happening, like maybe they should have gotten yellows, like that sort of thing. So I was pretty frustrated just with that because of the whole injury thing. I was like, I'm going to get hurt. Like something is going to happen. The more times this is happening, the risk is increasing, and I'm gonna get hurt. Um, so on that last and final one, which honestly was like the least in like impact driven one of them all. I really had just I had had enough. I had had enough, and I will say, if he hadn't been as close as he was, I probably wouldn't have said anything. But when I turned around and I saw him, it was like a heat-seeking missile. I was like, that's that. Like, I cursed at him a little bit. And, that was kind of like, you're not supposed to do that and that sort of thing. And that's what ultimately got me sent off. And, I stormed off the field how I did. I made it into the locker room. I threw my fit. Our director of ops followed me into the locker room, just kind of let me do my thing. And, once I had finally calmed down, settled a bit, I started finding I got a little emotional because I was upset, of course. My team's down a man, that's a risk, yeah, because I didn't have control over my emotions and that sort of thing. And it was it was a humbling moment. It was a humbling moment, that is for sure. And once I had calmed down, got a little more emotional, and I was just like, damn, I don't ever want to ever get sent off the field ever again. So, and then so I get emotional. I'm crying. My contacts have been cried out. I'm just can't see anything, all this. So after the game, I apologized to my team because it was again, that's on me. I lost control of myself and shouldn't have happened. And I put the team at risk. I put the the success of the team at risk, and apologized to my team. I apologized to Corey. I was like, hey, I just want to say that was not the most accurate representation of me. There were also a lot of external factors going in, there was a lot of stuff going on. And I was like, I'm really sorry. I also can't see anything. All of my contacts are out, so I'm just basically just talking to blobs, and I'm just I'm so sorry. I disrespected you. I'm very, very sorry. That was not an accurate representation of me, and I just want to apologize on my behalf. And he was super cool about the whole thing. He totally understood. Heat of the moment, it is what it is. Water under the bridge, draw a line under it. And so then I'm I've got all my stuff. I'm walking out of the stadium and whatnot, and I can't see, and I can't find our team bus, and I'm the only one out there, and I'm looking, searching for it, and I had to ask one of the Tennessee supporters. I was like, hey, could you please point me in the direction of our bus because I can't see anything right now? And they were like, yeah, sure, it's over in the corner. So again, humbling moment. And yeah, so that was that.
How many games was the suspension?
And gosh, you're bringing up all of the good stuff because that one was also harsh too. So our next game, I don't know who it was that we were playing, but it was our senior day. And yes. So, and that was the year that the original class so that was my 4th year. So it was my OG class. The girls that I came in with had been through the 4 years of, hell and back, that sort of thing. And it was senior day that day, and I couldn't. And even though I had my 2 extra years, I couldn't be there with them, type of thing. And I'm all about, I don't want to play with my buddies, and we've been through the ringer. We've seen each other at our best and at our worst, and I just want to play the beautiful sport of soccer with my girls. And so that was pretty heartbreaking. I can't even lie. Just not being able to get that experience with them and that sort of thing. The suspension was only 1 game, and you know what?
Oh gosh.
Of course it had to be that game, and it's something that I it's not necessarily something I quote unquote regret, in the sense of I don't no regrets, whatever. But it's it was a learning lesson, of course. I did learn a lot from that, and learned that it's losing control of yourself in a situation like that. It doesn't work for anybody's favor. Nobody around you, nobody that's not around you, yourself, anything. So it's just, you take control of the things that you can control, and the only thing that you can control is yourself, and that's that. So yeah.
For those of you that didn't see the video, I'll make Kit send it to me. I'll show
No,
it.
Loferski Free kick, Florida. Oh no, Loferski, if she gets another yellow, she's off. That is a massive error for Loferski, who is still steamed.
I think he might have called that on her initially, and that's why she didn't agree with him.
The week following that, my dad sent me the article, like the summary article of the game, and the headline was Loferski sees red at Tennessee, and I was just like, not only did she see a red card, but I was definitely seeing red. Like, I was like heat-seeking missile. I was like, I'm gonna let this man know that this is not cool. So, yep, there's that.
So, what has been your biggest takeaway from UF?
Oh man, my biggest takeaway from UF.
Or what has something that Becky has said or any coach at UF has said that just sticks with you till now?
I would say, it does come from Becky. She's had a pretty profound effect on my life, as she's had, profound effects on just about everybody she's come into contact with. She's just that kind of woman, and she does it in such a truly genuine and authentic way. Like she always just wants to help and like just push people to be better, that sort of thing. But the biggest takeaway that I would say is like you always have a role. Like no matter what, there's always a role, and you can always have a positive impact. Um, if you want to get outside of yourself, and if you have like you have that change in perspective of like you can contribute good things even if like maybe things aren't going great for you personally. So whether that's injury, whether that's you're not playing as many minutes as you want to, whether that's you're playing 90 minutes and that sort of thing, like it's more than just yourself. It's more than stats. It's more than goals. It's more than how many miles you ran and this, that, and the other. It's like there's always a bigger plan. There's always something bigger going on. And yeah, she's a real cool lady. That lady, she is. She's a good one. She's a good one. Like I said, she does it in such a genuine and authentic way. She like doesn't even have to try. She's just like, she just is. She's just a giver, man, and she's a cool lady. She's a real cool lady.
So from UF to Finland.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to describe the move and then tell me what was the biggest difference from, the collegiate level and then to Finland.
To Finland, yeah. So the move was, long flight. And with the whole process and going pro and whatnot, like I didn't really know if I was gonna do it all the way up until probably like I think it was like a month before graduation. Like I just kind of made the decision. I was like, shoot, like soccer is giving me, great people, and it's giving me, kind of a sense of self and like the way and the things that like I learned and developed as a person over the course of my college career. Traveled, I get like it's giving me an avenue to meet new people and see the world and that sort of thing. So I was like, yeah, maybe I'll try it out, see what happens, type of thing. So Becky put me in contact with an agent, and Allens got a hold of my name, and it just so happened that one of my Sarah Tricoli, who played at Florida with me, who's one of my best friends, just so happened to be playing on the same team, and I was like, man, how could I say no? How could I? So, yeah, I packed up my whole life from the college house that I had been living in for the last three and a half years, overnight, because I am the ultimate procrastinator. And yeah, packed it all up, spent, Christmas and the holidays with my family, and then shipped myself over to Holland. And um, it was certainly a change, that is for sure. The biggest change I would definitely say was the climate. I went from, Florida sun for what, 20 some years to about 6, 7 inches of snow, which at first was super cool. Like I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, this is amazing type of thing. And then I had to shovel my driveway for the first time, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if snow's gonna be my thing. um, but yeah, so it was an incredible experience. I really had like me so Mish, Sarah Tricoli, I call her, we all call her Mish. But Mish and I always talk about like 2022 was like one of the best years of life type of thing. Like it really was a spectacular year. Just to play football. We got to, travel around the world a little bit. Mish and I just kind of vibed. Like it's just like it was just like and then the girls were super cool. The football was great. We got to experience a lot of new, different things and meet new, awesome people. And at the same time, we got to, we got to kick the ball around. We got to do the thing that we love to do with some even better company. And sometimes you can't really ask for more than that. So yeah, incredible experience, incredible experience. The Åland Islands are, like a cluster of islands in between Finland and Sweden, like right there in the Baltic. And, it's so everybody on the island actually speaks Swedish, even though it's technically a part of Finland. Um, but, yeah, really, really amazing people on that island. Super kind, very welcoming. It's very small town-esque. And there's Holland United and then EFCO, which is the men's team, and like it's something that people really enjoy there on the island. So everybody likes to get involved, and then on top of that, the team like Holland always has opportunities to get involved with the community as well, and like that sort of thing. So it's just a matter of like, you know, getting outside yourself and like meeting people and just having a damn ball, man. And that is what we did, and it was really great.
That's cool. So what really triggered your move to Celtic?
What triggered my move to Celtic? So I I had okay. So recently, I've only just bought into the whole like football thing. You know what I mean? Like I know I've always loved it and I've always loved to play like that sort of thing. But the whole idea of like a career in football, like for the women's side, it hasn't always been a realistic opportunity, I guess. And the way that I've developed, um, the way that I performed in Finland, and like I was developing as a player and like that sort of thing, and it was just something that it was an opportunity that came knocking, and I said yes. And I kind of wanted to move up from Finland. The football there is good, but I kind of wanted to get outside of my comfort zone, be with more experienced players, I guess. Uh, like girls from all over, like in Finland, but there's just like there's an extra level of cutthroatness, I guess you could say. And I think a lot of that just comes from the football culture surrounding the UK. Like it's a way of life here. So yeah, that was basically that. It was just an opportunity that I thought would help me in the long run of like me deciding like, hey, like maybe I could actually do something with this, and like I love it, so might as well. And then at the same time, I get to check the boxes of like getting to travel the world, meet new people, and I get to kick a ball around the ball. I kick a ball around the world, and I think that's really cool. I think it really is, and it's something that I'm super super grateful for. And I feel like not everybody does get this opportunity, and it's something easy to take for granted, and that sort of thing. And I just want to appreciate it for what it is. And it's a sport, and I love the sport, and I love the things that it does for me, and I love the things that I can do for it, and it's a give and take. It's a symbiotic, mutualistic relationship, if you will.
If you, not if you had to choose, but what is one country that you really want to play in?
So, okay, I do again because of the football culture and the way that it is the way of life. I do want to play in England at some point. That is like my ultimate goal. Um, I don't necessarily have a preference of where. I just know that I want to play in England because again, like just the experience that comes along with it, and like being around people that are similar in the sense of like this is like football is cool. Football's sick. Like we love football. Football is life. At the
Yeah.
risk of sounding like a cliche, is life, and I love it. But yeah, so that's my top goal type of thing. Um, and from there, then we dream a dream. Then we dream a new dream. And then we see what happens, and I'm pretty realistic with myself. So if it gets to the point of where it's like maybe I don't want to do this anymore, then that's that. But for right now, I'm sticking to it because ain't nothing feel like it.
So what was your mindset like going into going into Celtic? Like what was going through your head the first couple training sessions and whatnot?
Going into Celtic, so I knew that I was coming into, higher quality football. And I knew that, you know, there were things that I could contribute in my own way, and there were also things that I could learn from the people around me. The girls at Celtic are exceptionally talented, and they have their strengths, and I have my strengths, and they're going to be different. But at the same time, it's a team. Teamwork makes a dream work. There's give and take. But going into it, I was thinking like this is a place where I'm going to be able to learn and to develop and to contribute in any way that I can. And I'm gonna have I know that I have weaknesses, but those are things that I want to fine tune. I want to be a more well-rounded player. Um, and the only way to do that is to go someplace where you're going to be outside of your comfort zone, and that's certainly where I ended up. But the environment itself, it makes you want to be better. It makes you want to just makes you want to it makes you want to be like the girls around you because they really are they are good, and the football is great. And so I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm a little fangirl, like I'm like, oh god, you guys are so good, like I want to be like you guys when I grow up. um Meanwhile, I'm a fully grown 25-year-old adult. um but yeah, no, like, so that's really what my mindset was just coming in and learning as much as I can, and developing in the ways that I can, I'm capable of doing. There are always going to be things that I'm not capable of doing, but there's I mean, you can always be like 1% better type of thing, and that's kind of where I'm going with it. I know that there are things that I can work on, and I know that there are things that I can also help with other people, and like I said, it's give and take. It's always a learning process. Always everything and anything is always a learning opportunity. So that's what my mindset was. Hmm.
There's one girl on your team that
Mm.
is actually amazing, and
Who?
it's
I
your
mean, there's a lot. There's quite a few.
there's the midfielder. She's kind of
Nat?
small.
Nat?
I don't know. I don't know her. You know, you know her. I don't
Is
know.
it what color? What color hair does she have?
Black?
Black.
I don't. I didn't really do much research. I seen it.
I mean, fair.
I
Fair.
seen it
I'm
on the
trying to
field though.
wait. I'm
She's
trying to
your
think.
she's your
Maybe it's
attacking
Lisa.
midfielder. Your attacking midfielder.
Oh, Jazz.
I don't know.
Jacinta.
I
It's
don't know.
Jacinta. It is Jacinta, dude. I'm telling you, when I like
She's moving different.
unbelievable. unreal.
Yeah, she's moving different.
Freaking real.
Yeah,
Her
yeah,
foot skills, her technical abilities, it's like it's obscene. I've never come across anything like it. It literally stops me in my place. Sometimes I just kind of like stare and I'm just like, how can you move like that? That's insane. I know.
yeah.
Believe me, I get it. There are lots of there are there and like there are even so like from the back like our goalkeeper Pam, rock solid, absolute brick wall, world class type of player, and she's consistent in that. Huge fan. Our back line, like again, fucking or God, I'm sorry, brick wall type of thing. Nothing gets by them. They're just everything. Everybody is just so consistent in the things that they do and the things that they can do well, and it works, and it's ever flowing, and it's God, man, I sound like such a dork. But like that's like the whole thing of football, and that's the other thing that I really appreciate about the UK. It's football, and that's what they teach. That's what they you know like I guess nail into you type of thing. It's like we want to play football, we want to keep the ball, we want to possess, we want to be creative, we want to let football be football, and that's not necessarily something that you always get in the States. Is like sometimes it can be a little bit more based off athleticism and that sort of thing. And like I know that I'm a product of that. And so coming into this, knowing that like yes, that's like my strength is like pace and athleticism and strength and that sort of thing because of the environment that I was developed in, and then coming here and knowing that that environment is going to be so different, but it's also going to like push me to adapt and change and do all of those things. And that's what I really appreciate about it. It's like they want to play football, and it's when it gets going, it is a beautiful thing. Let me tell you, and it is so much fun, so much fun.
Do you ever just like during training? Do you ever just like stop and then like just think, and you're just like, wow.
Dog, all the time. All the time. I don't know if anybody notices it, but there are times where I'm just kind of sitting around looking and watching the players do their thing, and I'm just like, damn, y'all are some cool girls. Y'all doing the damn thing, and I just the utmost respect. It really is cool. It really is cool to watch.
Do you ever go to any of them, ask for advice or anything?
Yeah, for sure. Um, Whether that's on the field, and like I think the one person that I've really gone to a lot is Natasha. She's our nine, and she's like a true nine. Like she is a goal scorer, and I feel like I've been just given my strength, I've been bounced around in positions a lot. So right now I'm also playing at the nine, and it's not something that I'm necessarily used to, but like Tash has played there her entire career. So she's somebody that I really go to, and I'm like, hey, I've got a question. I know that I'm not good at this, and I know you're the best at this. So is there like, could you please like help me out with positioning, with technique, with seeing the field from your point of view, just so that like I want to contribute to the best of my ability. Like I don't want to bring anything down, because I want to play football. Um, and I want to play football really well with you guys, because you guys are so cool. But yeah, so Tash is definitely one that I really go to a lot. Um, and there's constant back and forth of communication, and because like the girls want to succeed as well. And if you're not if you're you can't go at it alone. Like I said, like it's a team sport. Everybody contributes in one way or another. And so like having that open line of communication and being able to accept constructive criticism and that sort of thing, and being able to adapt and mold your game, and that sort of thing is something super important. If you want to be, if you want to be like better than, if you got the whole cliche of like leave better than you found it, or like leave the field 1% better, that type of thing. So, and I think asking questions, taking constructive criticism, like knowing in your head that, in this environment that any kind of feedback that you get it's not personal. It is solely revolving around, the success of the team and what you can do to be better and that sort of thing. So just taking things with a grain of salt and, just knowing yourself, knowing what you're good at, using those, but also knowing what you're bad at and being able to, accept that. And if you want that to be better, then you make the active choice of wanting that to be better. And then if you don't, well, good luck, Charlie.
All right. So I want you to walk me through a day in the life from start to finish.
Off day or a training day or
Training
what?
day. Training day. Training day.
Training day. All right, training day. So, training day. Alarm goes off at about 7. Alarm goes off at 7. I wake up. I eat my oats that I prepped the night before. And so I'll eat my oats. I'll drink, one of these suckers. And I'll have some coffee and then, kind of go about my morning until we leave for the training facility, which is around like 8:05. So we leave, get there around 9, change, do the whole thing, go up for meetings, whether that's film. We have breakfast as well. I'll have a little pre-practice snack, whether, like usually a couple oranges and an apple, always drinking water, that sort of thing. And so, yeah, we'll have film, and then after film, we go to the training facility, and then we train for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. After that, we go to lunch, so that's from like 12 to 11:30, 12. And then go to lunch from, typically until 1:30, and then after that, we'll usually have a gym session. So from about the times of 8 to, I would say, anywhere between 2 and 3, I'm at the facility, and that's my work day. And then I'll come home, and depending on if we have a gym session or not, so if we do, like, I'll come home, I'll, kind of decompress a little bit because it is a work day. Like it's an all day thing. So I'll decompress a little bit, hang out with my roommates, do my own little things that I like to do, whether that's reading or, playing video games or, yeah, exactly. Or like, whatever, talk to friends from home, talk to family, that sort of thing. And then, make dinner, prep for dinner, and then, prep for breakfast the next morning. And then I'm basically in bed from anywhere between 9 and 10:30, and I'm out like a light, and I wake up at 7 the next morning, and it's the same thing. We just keep on going.
Do you have any like pre-game rituals?
Pre-game rituals. Honestly, no, not really. Nothing for me is about, I guess so. Pre-game rituals to me is more like superstitious. I don't have any superstitions per se, but I do have certain things that I just like I always have, like whether that like with food or like always making sure I'm drinking water, and like nutrition is a big thing for me. Just in terms of like, I mean, it really helps with injury prevention. So I have, I always have my oats in the morning just because it's easy and it tastes good. And I've like been able to like kind of like figure out things that I like about that. So I'll have my oats, I always have my water, and I always have my coffee in the morning. And then for pregame, keep it kind of light, but just making sure that I'm getting enough carbs for practice or for whatever workload that I have that day. And then for my pregame, I have a little pregame snacky, which just consists of a variety of fruits and proteins and carbs, and just making sure I'm like just like keeping up with the energy levels that are necessary for a game. But yeah, I'm always eating. I'm always eating.
I mean, you're running a lot, so that's good. You gotta eat.
Yeah, it's exactly right. That is exactly right. I'm just trying to keep myself fueled, energized, keeping myself capable to do what I love to do. and that's that. That's that. And then of course on off days, like I take those pretty seriously as well, because we're always putting in as much effort, putting in the work all day, every day, and you know off days are off days, and they're necessary for recovery of the body, recovery of the mind, and I do things that I find enjoyment in, and that are unrelated to football because it takes up a lot of my time, and sometimes you need a little bit of space, and that's that, and yeah, yeah, that's basically it.
What is
That's
your off
basically
day
it.
looking like?
My off day, so it is very dependent on just like depending on workload. Um, so um, today, today, today I was extra tired. Just because yesterday I had a whirlwind of a day, and it took a lot out of me. Today, I slept in. I made myself sleep in, even though my body told me to wake up. And I was just like, nah, you need extra sleep. You need extra sleep. So I slept in, did some chores around the house, just kind of like regrouping for the week and kind of getting prepped in that sense. And I'm here. And then tomorrow will probably be, and I'm also going to go to the gym later. But anyways, um, tomorrow will be a little bit different, just because I've had my day to kind of like decompress a little bit, and then we're gonna get more into the swing of things. So yeah, tomorrow it'll be I like to get involved in I like to get involved in the community, and find little outlets and that sort of thing, and just kind of create homes away from homes, and that sort of thing. So like with like I'll go and do my volunteering in the morning tomorrow, and then go about my afternoon, have my lunch, do my meals, that sort of thing. I'll I'm not gonna go to the gym tomorrow. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna prioritize my nutrition. I'm going to prioritize my brain tomorrow, and just kind of like get outside of just get outside of football related things, and just kind of like ease, so that I can hop right back into it on Wednesday. I'm already looking forward to running around, but I don't know. I can't. I sound like a dweeb. I sound like a dork. I get it. I know, but I
Oh my
love
gosh,
football. I love it. Okay, it is so much fun.
that's good though. I mean, that's good. I can't even say much about it. It's good. It's good. Because my off day is just it's just fucking sleep. Like I just sleep. It's just sleep.
Hey, and that's works for you. That
Yeah,
works for you 100%. Everybody's gonna be different. It is what it is type of thing. But like I do what works for me, and I keep it real with myself, and that sort of thing, and that's that. But everybody's gonna be different. Whatever works for me is not gonna be the same that worked for everybody else. But
yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna name this episode just "Kicking Balls with Friends." That's what I'm gonna name it.
that's
That's not gonna be this episode. Just
that is exactly right.
kicking a ball around the world.
No, but like for real, like in all seriousness, like it is a serious thing. Like I do take myself very seriously, and I hold myself to a certain standard, but like you can't always be too serious. You can't always be too serious. And it's like, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life type of thing. So sometimes, like with the amount of effort and the amount of preparation and the work that I put into the sport at the same time, you gotta have some fun in there a little bit. And you find fun in the work itself. And I enjoy the process of it all. And yeah. So, but yeah, I'm very serious about it, but at the same time, it's also just it's something fun. It is just fun.
That's good. That's good. Well, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure hearing.
Yes, always,
Pleasure
always a
hearing your
pleasure.
stories, and I thank you so much for hopping on during your off day. That this is just not during your off day routine. But I thank you.
Like, of
Thank
course,
you.
of course. Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Ugh.